Following video is snippets from lives that we did in the 1969 Mustang project. But just know guys, there's 10 minutes of video here, so you will have to commit a bit of time to get to the finish. So each one of these panels is going to sit inside in the kick panel, like so. This process with these fiberglass panels that we had our backing plates, which I showed you before. And now we've got our timber pieces, which you can see these are going to be to house our main driver speaker here and also our tweeter hot glue gun. We're going to use some blocks. It's pretty much already solid. That's why we're using hot glue, because it dries quickly. You can see our speaker is going to sit in there. This is going to go over the top. We're going to glue it to our backing board. Now this fabric is going to be fiberglassed onto with resin and also matting. This sort of forms layer number 1. The matting attaches to the top of that, which is going to form like layers 2, 3 and probably 4. And once it dries hard, this will then all become one piece. So we start off by running about 1/2 inch in from the edge. Alright, so I'll take you across to see this in the car now. This is going to sit in here like this, and it's going to come in, cut in around this vent lever. You'll see the tolerance or the allowance around the throttle pedal here. So it's a good 2 fingers width, about an inch, 1.5 inches of space. Speaker's going to sit on top of this, of course. This will be our grill. Our grill will sit here. It'll have full movement with the throttle. And if we're resting our foot here, that's at least going to give us enough room here to make it work as far as the space goes. So that's pretty much how it's going to sit in there once it all comes together. We've got our handy dandy gloves on, throwaway brush, ice cream container with resin. The resin's going to form part of the process here. We have catalyst hardener. The misconception with fiberglass is that the strength is in the resin. You should put more resin on. It's actually the other way. The strength comes from the glass fiber matting, bottoms up. Okay, so I start these by painting resin onto this fabric first. Right, so then we've got our matting. We normally just try to lay this out fairly even. Alright guys, that's it. So, to recap, we've got our matting that's plastered in here now. It follows our contoured shape all the way around. It's coming up from that lower section of fabric that I showed you at the very beginning. That's going to form a single pod, which when it's dry will look like that. So we've got to trim off all this excess here, which is all like on the sides. We do that with the air saw. Little pod. So right now we're pretty close to a finished product here in this kick panel area. You can see the gap just here between the throttle pedal glue, which we're going to use here, the Car Builder's spray adhesive. It's a contact adhesive that these guys provide in a convenient aerosol. Top of the glue, or technically underneath the glue, is this carpet. Now this is an offcut I've got. This is also by Car Builders. It's a 4-way stretch carpet, so it's going to work really well for these pods, stretching both ways. And I say it's going to work really well for these pods because of how tight this gap in here is, and also how tight the gaps are around these curves where it's changing direction. Like we've got a curve here, short, and a curve here. So you need something that's going to be quite flexible in order to get those things sorted. So this carpet has a front and a back. It's got a fluffy side, and it's also got like a sort of rougher side. The rougher side, of course, is the side we want to get the glue on. Yeah, basically, being a spray adhesive, the glue goes on the bottom or on the carpet side. And you really got to let this sort of soak in so that it remains consistent and it doesn't just peel straight back off again. You're going to get nice thick coverage of glue here. So get a nice even coat on that. And being a contact adhesive, obviously the concept here is one contacting the other one. Give it a few minutes just to sort of settle in. So I'm starting with the most complex curve first, and also the tightest bend, which in this case is this top bend here. We're going to get some contact adhesive onto this back side so that it's ready to just basically trim straight back over into. You can see coverage on there. We've got our stretch up and over through to the back side. We're going to stretch into these tighter sections here. Although it's hard to get it on the video, the wrinkles that actually accumulate here on the back, so we try to minimize them on the front and then cut them flat here on the back. It wraps itself around. It doesn't even really look like there's any discrepancy in it at all from the front side. It's just a wrap. Gives us a nice finish all the way around. We'll have to give this a vacuum just to get the little bits of dust and whatnot off it afterwards. But that is finished product there. Right, nice and neat and tidy, specific made for this speaker set. So that's it, guys. Complete project. Start to finish, as you see, from fiberglass conception through to reality. There's probably a few different ways this project could have been achieved. This was the way we chose to go, and the customer's very happy with the result. Hit me up in the comments if you've got any questions, or if you'd like to get conversations started around your own projects. We're here to help.